Welcome to Darley Stud. Today we are here with David Appleton and he's going to talk to us a bit about his role and what he's doing here. So over to you, David.
Okay, so yes, thanks for coming out to see us. And so my name's David. As I said, David Appleton. I work in nominations at the stud here at Dalham Hall. So nominations is essentially my role is to get people to send their mares to our stallions.
Is that you that keeps emailing me?
Probably, yeah, probably, because there's a bit of PR and marketing involved, so there probably is a bit of that. But a nomination, if you haven't heard the term, so it's effectively if you have a mare, a female horse, you would call me or one of my colleagues or email me, however you may do it, and nominate that mare to go to whatever stallion you might want to use. And my job and the job of my colleagues is to look through those mares, look at their pedigrees, and try and decide if the mating is right, if it's the right thing for you, if it's the right thing for us. To give the stallion, because my job is to promote the stallion, to give the stallion a good chance of success. Is that the right thing to do? So I suppose that's it in a nutshell. We do a lot. It's a lot of reassurance as well for people. You know, we have a lot of breeders who've been doing it for, a long time. So they sort of know what they want to do. And which stallion they might want to use, and they might just want to sound a couple of ideas off us, ask us some questions about the stock that the stallion produces, that sort of thing. And equally, we have people who have never done it before and might just buy a filly or a mare and they want to have a go at breeding, and they just call us for a bit of advice. So we're just trying to give them the best advice we can, really. Yeah,
basically that's exactly what's happened to us with our Rogue Missile.
Yeah. So she's come to perfect power, hasn't she?
Yeah. And we sent it over to use, and you looked at it. With our Billy Jackson, and that's what you come back with. Perfect Power was a good match and a first season sire, and commercially should be very good.
Yeah, she should be. Yeah, I mean, from what I can remember, she's quite quick, wasn't she? She was a sort of a sprinting type of filly. So I remember, Billy just got in touch and we had a chat about it, and Perfect Power just seemed to have the right profile. He's obviously a world class sprinter, and as you said, first season sire. So it's you're giving yourselves a good chance, whether you race it, whether you end up selling the foal or the yearling. You're putting yourself in the best position you can, really. So
yeah, and I think that the idea for us as well as beginners was it was nice to go to a first season sire.
Yeah,
give us a little bit more chance.
Yeah, it can do, exactly, because the beauty of a first season sire is, and especially a horse like Perfect Power, who was a prominent racehorse, a multiple Group 1 winner. Is if you end up going to the sales with the yearling or the foal, however you might choose to do it, it's going to pique people's interests because they're going to want to see the horses by that stallion. So you're putting yourself in the box seat really to get people to look at your horse, and hopefully make some profit, which is everybody wins in that scenario. So
as a basic rule, would you put speed to speed or?
Yeah, I think so. There isn't anyone who's doing it who. What we do, who tells you they've got it sussed is lying. There's no hard and fast rule to any of it. As a rule of thumb, yes, you want to try and breed type to type. That's the way people have always sort of done it. It generally tends to work. But there'll be examples of fast mares that have gone to stamina influences from the stallion and bred a stayer or whatever. So it's an ever changing picture. You never know exactly you're going to get it right, but. Yeah, type to type usually is the way you try and go.
And at the moment in the UK, it seems like everybody's going for speed rather than stamina.
Yeah, there is that. I think the commercial market seems to want these early Royal Ascot 2-year-olds. There's so much focus put on Royal Ascot now. We've got the Breeze Ups about to start. Everyone's going to be wanting to buy 2-year-olds to go and run at Royal Ascot, and there's only a certain amount of them that can do it, so it's going to be competitive. But yeah, that's the way it seems to have gone in recent years. But I do think that the staying type of horse is coming back into focus a little bit. There's that resale market. We just had the sales yesterday at Ascot there, the Tattersall sale, and the top lot there made £150,000. Was a horse bred to stay a trip effectively. So there is a market for those stayers as well. So I don't think it's quite as polarising as it maybe was 4 or 5 years ago, but there is probably still a speed focus. You're probably right.
As a preference for our syndicate, I like the horse that's going to stay and take a bit more time. And that's what we focus on, more of a 3-year-old than a 2-year-old. What would be a good staying stallion that you've got here?
Good question. Well, as I said to you before, we've actually got a lot of young stallions here at the moment that are just on the cusp of, of their stallion career. That we have Massar, for example, and who's just about to have his first runners. Tudor Hot's about to have his first runners. So we've got a lot of horses that we're going to find out in the next few years. I suppose we had a new approach here. He's recently just retired from his stud career, but he bred Massar, who was a Derby winner for us. We do Barwee's a stamina influence and a speed influence. We haven't really got a stallion, to answer your question, that is a 100% stamina influence, but we have horses that can breed that type of horse.
Cracksman, what would you say about Cracksman?
Well, he had his first runners last season. Did very well. Had 17 winners up until the end of the year.
But as a distance, what?
Well, he had his first stakes winner there over 7 furlongs.
Did he?
Who was dancing the grass, for the Johnstons. So he kind of probably not took us by surprise, but was just impressed us really with how early his
I thought we've got a couple by Cracksman.
Yeah.
And they both look like they're going to need a trip.
Okay.
So,
Well, they may do, but like as I said, he's shown that he's able to get those 2-year-olds too, which is a great sign. We'll see how he gets on with his 3-year-olds.
And I know you haven't got Blue Point here, but Blue Point is my favourite stallion, my favourite racehorse.
Yeah.
What could you comment on him?
So he's in Kildangan, which is our Irish operation, Kildangan Stud in Kildare. He's about to have runners hit the track in the next few weeks. We're hearing positive things. I'm sure a lot of people are hearing positive things about their own stallions, but when you're speaking to the breeze up consigners, they usually give you a pretty good indicator into what they like, and the Blue Points seem to be the ones that they're talking about.
I think he could be number one this year.
Well, I hope so.
We've got one called the Irish Rogue by Blue Point, and he is really, really showing a lot of class.
Great. That's great to hear. Yeah.
So really, really good.
Well, that's great to hear. Well, hope. Look, he was a brilliant racehorse, wasn't he? And the team in Kildangan there have given him a great chance to get off to a flyer. So hopefully he can go and do it. They've got to go and run now. Then that's the acid test. So we're going to find out.
And finally, I'd like to thank you for having us here today. And also, it was an absolute pleasure to stand next to Dubawi.
No problem. Thanks for coming. It's great.
It's it's been such a pleasure for people that love racehorsing. We got invited to come here actually because we've got Rogue Millennium. I don't know if it was you or it wasn't, because I saw him at the sales and he said, I'd like to invite a few of your members to come down because we've got Rogue Millennium.
Yeah, she's done so well for you.
Yeah,
so
she's
brilliant.
fantastic. Yeah. So I'd just like to say a massive thank you for having us here, and it's phenomenal. What a place.
No problem. Our pleasure. Thanks for coming out.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Tony.
Thank you.
Thank you.